Hello everybody, this is Prem Kumar here, author of book The Empty Cup, Book of Zen. The next chapter is on Zen stories. There are many simple Zen stories that drive home the point beautifully for a better living. In Japan they are called koans. I've given you a few of the best Zen stories here. By being sensitive, the message of Zen masters can be understood in one or two liners. I request all the masters to meditate for 10 minutes, come back and read the book. The message of Zen stories written here is purely a personal view. You can also send your feedback on Zen stories to me on WhatsApp number 944814098. Please let us explore Zen stories. The first one, crossing the river. Two monks, Tanzan and Ekido, were crossing the river. The water was neck high. They met a lovely girl who was unable to cross the river since the water was high. "Come on, girl," Tanzan said at once, lifting her in his arms and carried her over to the next bank. The other monk, Ekido, did not speak till they reached the temple. Then he no longer could restrain himself. "We monks do not go near women, especially such young and lovely ones. Why did you do that?" Tanzan replied, "I left the girl there only, but why you're still carrying her in your mind?" Friends, past is history, future is a mystery. Live in the present moment. Remove the bag full of past experiences and future insecurities from a mind. Otherwise, you'll miss the beauty of this moment. Full awareness. We'll go to next Zen story. Full awareness. After 10 years of apprenticeship, Tenno achieved the rank of Zen teacher. One day he went to visit the famous Zen master Nan Inn. When he walked in, the master greeted him with a question. "Did you leave your wooden clocks and umbrella on the porch?" "Yes," Tenno replied. "Tell me," the master continued, "did you place your umbrella to the left of your shoes or to the right?" Tenno did not know the answer and realized that he had not yet attained full awareness. So he became Nan's apprentice and he studied under him for next 10 more years. The hidden message here is, if we have ego within us, we always want our identity, knowledge and power to be respected by others. Ego is the greatest enemy to be aware of the present moment. We'll go to the next story, chasing two rabbits. A martial arts student approached his master with a question. "I'd like to improve my knowledge of the martial arts. In addition to learning from you, I'd like to study with another master in order to learn another style. What do you think of this idea?" The hunter who chased the two rabbits answered the master, "Catches neither one." The message of the Zen master is, we need focus in our actions. If you put our legs in two boats, we will sink without reaching our destination. The next story is cliffhanger. One day, while walking through the wilderness, a man stumbled upon a hungry tiger. He ran away, but soon came to the edge of a high cliff. Desperate to save himself, he climbed down a creeper and dangled over the fatal cliff. As he hung there, two rats appeared from the hole in the cliff and began to chew the creeper. Suddenly, he noticed on the creeper a plump wild strawberry. He plucked it and popped it in its mouth. It was incredibly delicious. The hidden message is enjoy this very moment even when we are dying. The next Zen story is concentration. After winning several archery contests, the young and rather boastful champion challenged a Zen master who was renowned for his skill as an archer. The young man demonstrated remarkable technical proficiency. When he hit a distance bullseye on his first try, and it splits that arrow with its second shot. There it is, he said to the old man. See if you can match that. Undisturbed, the master did not draw his bow, but rather moved the young archer to follow him up the mountain. Curious about the old fellow's intentions, the champion followed him high into the mountain until they reached a deep opening spanned on a rather weak and shaky log. Calmly stepped out on the middle of the unsteady bridge, the old master picked a few away tree as a target, drew his bow and fired a clean direct hit. Now it's your turn, he said as he gracefully stepped back on the safe ground. Staring with terror into the seemingly bottomless valley, the young man could not force himself to step out onto the log, no less shoot at a target. You have much skill with your bow, the master said, sensing his challenger's confusion. But you have little skill with the mind that lets loose shot. The hidden message here is, friends, we should not take ownership of any knowledge or skill. A real master is one who does not get disturbed even under crisis. By removing our ego, we start believing in the existence. The next Zen story is going with the flow. A Taoist story tells us of an old man who accidentally fell into the river, leading to a high and dangerous waterfall. Onlookers feared for his life. Miraculously, he came out alive and unharmed downstream to the bottom of the falls. People asked him how he managed to survive. I accommodated myself to the water, not the water to myself. Without thinking, I allowed myself to be shaped by it. I just plunged into the swell. This is how I survived. The hidden message here is, when we go with the flow, we will not have any friction with that moment. Accept the world, people, and experiences around us as they are without any complaints. Look at the seeds we plant. It grows without any complaints. and blossom into a beautiful tree. Learn from the nature. The next Zen story is that so? A beautiful girl in the village was pregnant. Our angry parents demanded to know who the father was. At first, resistant to confess, the anxious and embarrassed girl finally pointed out to Hakuin, a Zen master whom everyone previously revered for living such a pure life. When the outraged parents confronted Hakuin with their daughter's accusation, he simply said, "Is that so?" When the child was born, the parents brought it to Hakuin, who now viewed as an advisor by the whole village. They demanded him to take care of the child since it was his responsibility. "Is that so?" Hakuin said calmly as he accepted the child. For many months he took very good care of child until the daughter could no longer withstand the lie she had told. One day she confessed that the real father was a young man in the village whom she had tried to protect. The parents immediately went to Hakuin to see if he could return the baby. With the profuse apologies, they explained what has happened. "Is that so?" Hakuin said as he handed them the child. Truth is eternal. If you are really a noble man, you do not need anybody's endorsement of your character. Your strength comes out from within. The next story is "It Will Pass." A student went to his meditation teacher and said, "My meditation is horrible. I feel so distracted, or I am constantly falling asleep. It's just horrible." "It will pass," the teacher said as a matter of fact. A week later, the student came back to his teacher. "My meditation is wonderful. I feel so aware, so peaceful, and so alive. It's just wonderful." "It will pass," said the teacher. There's nothing permanent in our life. Everything changes from moment to moment. Enjoy that moment, whatever is the experience. The next story is just two words. There once was a monastery that was very strict. Following a vow of silence, no one was allowed to speak at all. And there was an exception to this rule. Every 10 years, the monks were permitted to speak just two words. After spending his 10 years at the monastery, one monk went to the head monk. "It has been 10 years, said the head monk. What are the words that you would like to speak?" "Bed hard," said the monk. "I see," replied the head monk. 10 years later, the monk returned to the head monk's office. "It has been 10 more years, said the head monk. What are the two words you would like to speak?" "Foot stinks," said the monk. "I see," replied the head monk. Yet another 10 years passed, and the monk once again met the head monk and asked, "What are your two words now after these 10 years?" "I quit," said the monk. "Well, I can see why," replied the head monk. "All you ever do is complain." We always have complaints in our life. Zen Master is asking us to accept life as it is. The next Zen story is learning the hard way. The son of a master thief asked his father to teach him the secret of the trade. The old thief agreed and took his son to loot a large house that night. While the family was asleep, he silently led his young apprentice into a room that contained a cloth closet. Father told his son to go into the closet to pick out some clothes. When he did, his father quickly shut the door and locked him in. Then he went outside, knocked loudly on the front door, thereby waking the family, and quickly slipped away before anyone saw him. Hours later, his son returned home exhausted. "Father," he cried angrily, "why did you lock me in the closet? If I had been made you a desperate, creating the fear of getting caught, I never would have escaped. It took all my ingenuity to get out." The old thief smiled. "Son, you have had your first lesson in the art of burglary. Nobody can teach you any skills. You have to learn on your own. Necessity is the mother of invention." The next Zen story is "The Moon Cannot Be Stolen." A Zen master lived the simplest kind of life in a little hut at the foot of a mountain. One evening, while he was away, a thief sneaked into his hut only to find there was nothing to steal. The Zen master returned and found him. "You have come a long way to visit me," he told the thief, "and you should not return empty-handed. Please take my clothes as a gift." The thief was bewildered, but he took the clothes and ran away. The master sat naked, watching the moon. "Poor fellow," he mused. "I wish I could give him this beautiful moon." The message of the master is: Zen master has showed his power of kindness even to a thief who has come to loot his hut. He is not attached to his only cloth he had with him. Thank you.